and encouraging the children to realise that actually you can get lost in a book and enjoy a book, and it's the answer to so many problems.
Get Radio Breakfast with Rich Smith.
We continue our Small Charities Week here at Get Radio. A really vital, a really important week, and a week that we absolutely love because you love finding out about the amazing work that small charities do here in Oxfordshire. Joined by my next guest now, Elaine Adams, who's joint founder and CEO of Assisted Reading for Children in Oxfordshire. Elaine, good morning to you.
Good morning, Rich. Thank you very much for having me on.
Absolute pleasure, absolute pleasure. And this is what it is all about. It is finding out about the amazing charities that are here in Oxfordshire. So just explain a little bit more about the charity, please.
Yes, certainly. Well, we're called ARCH, which stands for Assisted Reading for Children in Oxfordshire. We're a small charity, but we have a far reach. We recruit and train volunteers to go into primary schools, helping children to enjoy reading. It's not the teaching, it's the enjoyment. So our volunteers share a love of books that they have themselves, but they engage children with different books, comics, games, all sorts of things, and very importantly, chatter, conversation skills, and just getting to know the children, finding out about them, and enjoying time with the children. Our volunteers go into schools twice a week, and they see the same 3 children for a whole year. So they build relationships with those children. It's half an hour each time. So they might ask how they are, chatter about them, read books, games, and find out very gradually over the year a little bit about the children and develop their personalities, develop an interest as well in books, which is what it's all about, and encouraging the children to realise that actually you can get lost in a book and enjoy a book, and it's the answer to so many problems.
It certainly is. And I guess it falls on to the importance of reading and kind of enjoying, because I guess, through, I'm speaking from my own sort of experience now, we're all kind of reading bits and bobs now. I'm reading things on your website. I read things in the papers every single morning. I absorb information from various different bits, and that almost never stops, as an adult now. And to kind of have that confidence and to kind of have that enjoyment of reading, if it can start from a young age, will lead into greater and better things later on in life, I'm assuming.
Absolutely. I mean, children have to learn to read first, and that's what schools are doing an excellent job of learning, the phonics, how to break down the words, how to sound out things, and that's the mechanics of learning it, and that is very vitally important. But the other thing that is important is for children to realise that it's fun. It's not just learning, it's enjoyment. It's something they can do in their spare time. They can pick up a book, they can find out about football or rugby, whatever they want to talk about and play. They can read about it, find out about it, but also they can read stories about children similar to themselves or different to themselves, and find out experiences through books and have fun and adventures just by reading, and not just little clips of bits, but actually getting it engulfed in a book and reading it and wanting to come back home and get sucked into that story again. We want to encourage that enthusiasm for stories and books so that children realise that there is books in the world. There's more than just electronics and gadgets, that actually books can be fun as well.
And I guess a little bit of it is unlocking the way into that kind of enjoyment, the way of kind of looking at books, because I guess it's quite a big, sort of stigma at school. It's kind of just like, oh, read this. Okay, well, I've not really got into it. Oh, I'm not really into it, I'm not. I don't understand that word, or I'm reading it but nothing's going in. I'm looking out the window. I'm playing on my tablet, and actually, it's I guess unlocking that way of going. Oh, actually, maybe you enjoy books about facts rather than fiction. Maybe you enjoy books that kind of are based on true events, or what. It's unlocking that secret, because everyone, of course, as we know, is a complete individual. Unlocking that secret to go, that's how you enjoy and get into your reading.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what our volunteers do, and they do it through building relationships, and that's important. The children need to feel listened to and heard. They're very interesting. They've got so much to say, and often when they're in an educational setting, we've got to talk to them, we've got to teach them. But when it's one-to-one with our volunteers, and it's just the child, just the volunteer wants to hear from the child. They want to hear what they like to do at the weekends, what they might be interested in. And then our volunteers will source the books and the resources to encourage the children to read about it, find out about these subjects, and make it fun. It's not just the mechanics of reading. We supply all our volunteers with a lovely Arch book box full of books, and it's different books, it's a variety, and it's important to expose them to lots of different sorts of genres of books, things maybe they've not come across in the school, comic books, joke books, and games. Our volunteers play a lot of games. It's to get to know the child, and once you get to know them, you can actually start to think, well, maybe they might be interested in, a few classic books or this or that, and then we will supply the subject. And we like to see that look in the child's eye when they see in the book box a book about something they were talking about last week, and their volunteer's gone and got that for them, and they feel special, they feel listened to, and they feel important. So it builds up their own self-esteem, their confidence, they're important people, someone's interested in listening to them, and then it develops a lovely interest in books and reading.
No, for sure.
And it lasts a lifetime.
Of course, as many of the classic books do, of course. And it feels very much a two-way street with this as well, because you've spoken a lot about your volunteers, and that must be an extremely rewarding way in engaging with children and kind of that teaching and, like you say, building that rapport and relationship. I'd imagine your volunteers get a lot out of it, seeing that joy and kind of that progress of seeing the excitement of maybe a child picking up a book and not being that interested in it, and then that final journey where it's like, oh yes, great, you've got the next one of this series for me, brilliant.
Yeah, that spark where the penny drops and the child actually realizes they can read it and they want to read it. It's fantastic for our volunteers. And our volunteers come from all walks of life. You don't have to have a degree, you don't have to have any educational background, just an interest in children, a bit of time to give, and hopefully a love of books. And with that passion and interest, they can pass it on to the children. But as you say, they gain, it's really 50-50. They gain as much as the children gain because they see the progress. And also they enjoy children's company. They come away, sort of feeling happy, joyful. Life's quite simple when you're in a child's world and listening to them. You don't have any, in our sessions, we have no gadgets, no phones. So that's all tucked away for a whole hour and a half. So it's 3 children they work with each time. So half an hour with the child, you talk to them, you're interested in them, and they get to know them, they get to build relationships. So after the time they see them develop. And they hear also from schools, they feed back to the volunteer, little Charlie in school today, he never puts his hand up, but today he put his hand up, he offered an answer. We've noticed a difference in his confidence, in his feeling good about himself, which is what we want to build in the children, their confidence, and then they could develop into other learning skills.
Yeah, absolutely. And it starts with something trivial, maybe a little bit trivial, but not in just reading, where it can develop that confidence. It can develop that kind of, actually, I am now reading, I am now enjoying, and that sparks everything else. Like you say, it starts from finding a decent book, and then that can lead on to more confidence, that can lead on to reading other things, that can lead on to learning better. As with a lot of charities that we speak to, it is finding that spark, that end point, that beginning, and then the domino effect takes place.
Yeah, and sometimes it is just finding that special book, and it can take a while to get there. But the good thing about our sessions is you've got a whole year. You're not in any rush to get to any stage at any point. There's no testing. So you'll find lots of different books. You'll sort of expose the children to lots of different stories. You'll read to them. You'll talk about stories that you know, and you'll see a little spark in them that they're interested. And then when the child finds the book that really switches them on, I think we can all, remember the book that was special to us, the one that actually sort of brought the enjoyment and the memories. And sometimes even as an adult you can pick that book up and remember those times. And a lot of our volunteers are remembered by their children when they grow up. On our website we've got a story of a lovely young lad who now is sort of nearly 20, and he remembers the man, the arch volunteer, when he was younger at school, who just switched him onto reading and listened to him and gave him the time and changed the course of his life really by making him feel, yes, I am a reader, yes, I can do this. Arch sessions are very positive, very building them up. sort of praise, encouragement. And we say in an Arch session, we never say no. If they get it wrong, it might be nearly or not quite. You're getting there, you're trying it. So it's always positive. For half an hour, it's a positive half hour, building the children up, making them feel good about themselves, and letting them know that they will get there. With help, they will get there. They will become confident readers.
Brilliant stuff. And turning the tables on you just a little bit, Elaine. What was that book for you that sparked the enjoyment of reading, and that maybe that go-to one, the one that's on the bookshelf that's always got a special place in your heart?
Well, when I was saying it in my head, I've got Winnie the Pooh, I'm afraid. That's my era.
Perfect. It's absolutely
It's
spot on.
special.
We all have. Yeah, exactly. You're taken back there. That's amazing. And I guess actually sort of twofold with this. People might be listening to this and thinking, oh, this would be wonderful for my child. But a flip side of that as well, people actually might be going, actually, this is a really incredible and worthwhile thing, maybe to get involved with volunteers in. Where can people find out more info?
Yeah, I mean, we've got nearly 300 volunteers, but we need 600. We need twice as many. There's so many children out there that need this one-to-one. And we thoroughly train, recruit, and we support our volunteers. So, we're there for them all the time. Feedback's important, encouragement, and guidance and how to work in school as well. So our website, archoxfordshire.org.uk, you can go to the volunteering side of things and download an application form, or just simply call us, email us. We'll send out an application, and then we'll get to the next stage of the training and getting people working one-to-one in schools. We're very keen to get more people. And more businesses as well. We work with businesses where they allow their staff to be released for an hour a week, and they go into a primary school via Arch, helping children. And that's wonderful. So someone working in a busy office environment, coming out for that hour, being able to read with children, being in a school environment and knowing they're making a difference, as well as, in a full-time job. So, lots of companies do allow their staff that, and that's wonderful. It's people we need. That's the important thing with Arch, people, very valuable.
Brilliant stuff. Well, it's been wonderful catching up with you and finding out more about you. Another fantastic and brilliant charity on Small Charities Week. Thanks so much for joining us, Elaine. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Rich. Nice to meet you.
That's brilliant stuff. Elaine Adams there, the joint founder and CEO of Assisted Reading for Children in Oxfordshire. Do check out the website, because like we said, as we were kind of going through that conversation, it's kind of a two-way street with this sort of thing with volunteers. Definitely needed there. Brilliant stuff.